Hello everyone, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 5 of Everyday Disciple Making. Thanks for tuning in to these little videos. And today I'm starting on my front porch because it represents an important mission field for me. I feel called to the people of Cliff Temple in order to be a disciple maker, but I also feel called to be a blessing to my neighbors and to seek to love people across the board. Today's focus is the first of 5 videos that will deal with what we might call the 5 habits of highly effective disciple makers or everyday missionaries. And we're focusing today on the idea of being a blessing. Being a blessing is the first habit of highly missional people. Scripture is very clear that when we bless others, we too will be blessed. And when we bless other people in various ways, we tap into a spiritual dynamic that continues to fulfill the blessing that was promised through Abraham. Back in Genesis 12, Abraham was given the promise that he would be a blessing, the father of many nations, and that through him all the peoples of the world would be blessed. When Jesus came in the incarnation, he was in fulfillment of that promise, and he did all kinds of things in order to care for people and to bless them. He healed them, he taught them, he encouraged them, ultimately laying down his life in order to effect the fullness of the gospel. Now we are his disciples and we are called to continue to bless other people. Our challenge is that we would seek to be people of blessing, not only to those that we disciple week in and week out, but also for those who are outside of the family of faith. In doing so, we're continuing the work of Christ. The word blessing means to consecrate something or to make it holy. It comes from an Old English word, bletsion, which refers to the sprinkling of blood on an altar. You can imagine what it's like when we bless other people, in that we sort of sprinkle the goodness of God into our everyday activities. The word bletsion also has a beautiful meaning in that it refers to the strengthening of the arm, so that when we come alongside people, when we lift their burden in some way, when we encourage them, we are helping them to be strengthened, and it demonstrates God's presence in their lives. There are 3 ways in particular that we can bless other people. One is through words of affirmation. What a difference it makes when someone comes alongside and gives us an encouraging word. You can bless the people that you're discipling by sending them text messages, emails, notes of encouragement, or best of all, face-to-face conversations in which you affirm them and demonstrate to them your love. It's an important part of disciple making, the way that you bless the people that you're called to disciple through words of affirmation. You can also give them words of scripture to remember. Sometimes those that I'm encouraging, I will just shoot a quick scripture that comes to mind and just let people know that I'm thinking of them. So words of affirmation are critical. The second way that you can bless other people is through acts of kindness. If words are not enough, then maybe you need to do something practical to help other people. Right here in my neighborhood, there are all kinds of ways in which I have been blessed by others as they do things that benefit my life. And now I'm called to do the very same thing with other people. You can do help for people in their yard, or perhaps in a task that they're performing around the house. Maybe it's in some just sort of life need that they have, but acts of kindness are important. And then finally, gifts are a way that we can bless other people. When we give a gift, it is an extension of our love for them. Jesus was always reaching out to people, and even though he didn't have much by way of material possessions, he was always giving to people. This was his posture, sort of open-hearted and giving to others. Gifts can be a very practical way, even if they don't cost us very much, that can demonstrate God's love and blessing to others. Now let me give you a few words of warning when it comes to blessing other people. First, check your motivations. We don't seek to be a blessing to others so that they will do something for us in return or to even elicit a response. Instead, we're following in the footsteps of Jesus. Jesus taught us in the book of Luke, chapter 6, that we are called to love our enemies, do good to those who hate us, bless those who curse us, and pray to those who abuse us. He says, give to everyone who begs from you, and from one who takes back your goods, do not demand them back. As you wish that others would do for you, so do for them. So check your motivations. When you seek to be a blessing to those that you're discipling, or those that you are seeking to bless outside of those in the family of faith. Second, when you do something, remember that it's how they feel that matters the most. It's not about how you feel. You're not doing something to bless other people so that you will be blessed in return, but instead seek to understand what will truly elicit a wonderful response in them. And finally, remember that you might be misunderstood. When you seek to be a blessing to others, you're going against the grain of the world that is often out to manipulate us or to elicit something in return from us. As we bless other people, we know that sometimes it might not always go in the way that we want it to, and yet it's the right thing to do as we follow Christ. So that's it. Be a blessing this week. Bless 3 people, one in the circle of people that you're called to disciple, one outside of that circle and that you would like to see come to a deeper understanding of who God is and of Christ, and then one extra to spare. I'm praying for you as you put into practice this habit of highly effective missional people who are discipling other people. And I'm grateful for all that you're doing for the kingdom. God bless you.
And he knows it's gone. Don't wait for another. Falling he goes.